I woke up this morning and for I don't know, but I know when I looked at the clock it was 4:44 when I finally started processing. Um, I had the best dream of my life last night. What? Um, this dream was dope. I had so much fun in my dream. It felt so real. Like, oh my goodness. And then it was like the end of the dream was ruined because my ex showed up in the dream. Like, bro, why you in my dream? I instantly woke up like, what the fuck? Bro, that shit was hilarious. But I I'm not gonna get into the details of the dream. However, I was laying in the bed afterwards and I began uh, scrolling on my phone. And that's typically kind of what I do when I wake up, the process, get myself ready to get out of bed or I go check first I read my Bible app, boom, hit my scripture for the day. Um, which I have to be a little bit more intentional with my scriptures. I need to memorize them. Coworker said, she said, write them down, commit it to memory. I'm like, okay, bad. She got a point. So I might change how I do things in the morning. However, as I was sitting here, and I'm scrolling along and just randomly doing my thing, waking up in the morning. The good old, I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. But anyway, I I was reflecting on the last 2 days. So this is probably gonna be melancholy at first. However, um I do believe that this message is important. And so, as I said, I was reflecting on these last 2 days. And in the process of reflecting, I had a real life realization that, you never know who's going to be here or if you're going to be here. Or um, I don't want to get overly emotional. I recently lost my best friend. Um, because I'm learning to sit in my feelings and feel my heart. And so talking about this is a bit emotional. um, I recently lost my best friend, and it it broke me. I cried. I really genuinely cried, and I struggled to talk about this person. I struggled to find words to express. Lord, please let me get through this in the name of Jesus. Um, it was difficult to find the words to share who this person was to me, what this person meant to me. And all I could think of to do was to describe her at the time. And I didn't get to describe how my relationship with her made me feel. I was able to show it However, I was not able to verbalize it. So I'm praying that I can say what needs to be said without being overly emotional, yet with the ability to share my true feelings. And so it brings me to um, a total side note, but it's all relative and related, I promise. So, like I said, I'm scrolling in the bed, and today was the best day ever, even though it was her funeral. Um, this is I don't want to cry. Not on camera, anyway. I do want to share this though. Um, I'm just emotional right now. Um, I thought of her in the moments prior to her being unable to speak. And I didn't know at the time what was going on. So, just a little backstory to just make sure this all makes complete sense. Because you never know how precious life is until it's gone, right? So, you got to live every moment to the fullest. And I'm jumping around, but it's going to make sense, I promise. So, I woke up from my dream. It was a beautiful dream. Oh my gosh. And I was having a ball in my dream. I'm trying to tell you, I was having fun. I was like really enjoying myself in my dream. Like I was living in my dream. Like, and I was so lively and alive and just, I was happy. I was happy. I was at peace, right? And it's crazy because just hours prior to that, hours prior to this moment of waking up this morning, I went through so many emotions. So I'm gonna back up, like I said. I celebrated my birthday recently, and it was by far the best birthday I've ever had. And it wasn't even like extravagant. You know what I'm saying? Um, I went out for drinks. I'm not a big drinker, but every now and then I'll have a drink here and there. You know what I mean? I don't like to get messed up. Yeah, little buzz is cool, but I don't like being all like and falling over and stuff. And so anyway, I celebrated my birthday, and the day after celebrating my birthday, I remember this is so weird. I woke up in the morning. Actually, let me back up some more because I actually thought about my friend earlier that week. It was like Tuesday. She came to my mind, and I heard her name clear as day in my head. And I was like, I need to call her. I haven't talked to her in a while. I need to make sure she's good because she had been going through a lot of things, and so I didn't want to. I'm learning now why I'm detached to some degree too. I didn't want to burden her with what was going on with me in my life at the time because I knew what she was going through. Yet, I also missed her and wanted to see her, wanted to check on her, and I'm always moving and on the go. So it was like I didn't have time. And there's so much. I thought of her. She popped in my mind on a Tuesday. My birthday was on a Friday, that same Friday of that week. And I wound up going out for drinks with a couple of colleagues or coworkers. And I I asked the coworker to be a wingman for me because something just didn't feel right about going out for drinks with the original person. And I just was like, I feel like it should be more people, the more the merrier. So I'm like, okay, I might ask my coworker because, I'm smart. I'm not dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't feel right, you trust your intuition. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm gonna get her to go along with me. You know what I mean? Because some just didn't feel right. Like, anyway, we went out. I had a ball, and the following day, we went to a work event and celebrated again at the work event. And again, I had a ball, having the time of my life, like enjoying myself, like actually living and smiling and laughing and actually having fun, something I haven't done in a long time. And it's like now when I'm able to do it, and now that I make the time to do it when I want to, I'm realizing, how precious life is. And so time goes by, fast forward, and the day before Thanksgiving, I get a phone call. And instantly I'm like, Eric, like, why is she calling me? Like, what is this person calling me for? This person, I stopped talking to this person because it was just so heavy. It was so much going on, and she was going through things, I was going through things, and I was changing, and I was feeling her situation and feeling my situation, and I just was like, I can't deal. I gotta deal with my own. I can't deal with yours too. I don't want to deal with yours. Not to say that I don't care about you, but at that point in time, I need to be able to focus on myself. I need to be able to, lock in to a degree. And so this person calls, and she's a good friend of mine. She calls me, and I didn't answer the phone. I was like, I'm not answering the phone because I already know it's gonna be some news. You know what I mean? Then she hit my phone, right, acting like she texted me, and I'm like, I don't want this news that you're getting ready to bring to me, right? I could feel it. I knew what it was. I'm like, oh, the last time you called me like this, especially around this time, our best friend Jackie had died. And then you call me again around this time, and I'm just like, bro, I don't want to answer the phone. I don't want to. Nah, I don't want this news. I could feel it. And so she hit my phone right after, like, yo, call me back. It's important. And I'm like, oh, right. And so this is Thanksgiving Day, actually, that she called me. And I was like, all right. I sat there for a second, like processing. Do I call her back? No. Do I call her back? I'm like, call her ass back because it's important. She said it was important. She only calls you for important things, which especially if she call you and text you right behind, you'll stop playing. So I'm like, I know the news that's on the other end of the line, and I don't want it. And so she tells me, I said, I said, hello. She said, hey, son. She was like, how are you? And I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, what's up? Like, everything good? She like, yeah, but I got some news. And I'm like, I'm feeling it. And so I'm like, um, I was like, I kind of already know what it is, but what? And she says the words, Alicia's gone. And I had to process because I already knew. I had to process because I already knew. And so I let the words sink. Instantly, I was mad. I was, I said, well, I kind of figured that's what you was going to tell me, you know what I'm saying? And I felt myself like going into rage at that moment, right? So I'm calm though. I'm talking to her, you feel me? So she like, you know, it was she went into hospice on the 14th, which was my birthday. And she died 2 days later on the 16th. And the first emotion I felt was anger. I was mad. I was livid. You feel me? Like, I'm like, bro, what? Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, okay. I'm not even, I mean, I'm like, I'm processing because I'm like, yo, I'm glad that she's at peace. Like, okay, yes. Like, I'm processing it in so many different ways. I'm so calm. Yet at the same time, I'm angry and I feel all these emotions just coming together at the same time. And so I scream like, oh, right? I'm like, man, fuck. And she like, what? Saying what? And I'm like, yo, nothing, yo. All right, yo, what? I'm like, I'm like, I'm taking it what she's saying to me. And I'm just like, bro, fuck. Like, why you had to give me this news today? And she like, look, I wasn't going to tell you, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't going to tell you because it was Thanksgiving and everything. I was going to wait till the mall, but I just got everything sent to me. Like, her funeral's tomorrow. I'm like, what? So instantly, I'm even more angry now. And I'm like, yo, I need to process these emotions because I don't want to blow up on nobody because it's nobody's fault. You feel what I'm saying? Like, she's at peace. She's at rest. She's not in pain anymore. She's, you know what I'm saying? Her soul can rest. That's a good thing. You should be celebrating, not crying. Yet crying is a natural reaction. It's the soul's release, right? And so I didn't cry for a second. I sat there, and it's crazy because I was sitting in my bed. I was sitting in my bed because I was like, I'm gonna go upstairs and make the rest of this stuff for my kids because my kids celebrate holidays. I don't partake, but I'm like, we can eat this food. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not about to be. And I'm also thinking about my grandmother and my mother during this time. You know what I'm saying? These were like their favorite holiday. Thanksgiving was their jam. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm going to make the turkey in memory of my mom and my grandmother because, that's the symbol for them. I'm a hit either some sweet potatoes or some yams or something for them. I'm definitely making me a pot of collard greens just because I want some collard greens. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, I ain't got the collard greens before Thanksgiving. I didn't even know Thanksgiving was coming up. Like, I'm digressing, but it was funny because I went to the freaking supermarket and I'm like, wow, these damn people in. I went to make regular market. And when I went into my market, it was so many people. And I'm like, wow, these people in here. What is going on? I just want to shop. Like, I'm overwhelmed. It's too much. And my daughter's like, Mom, it's Thanksgiving. And I'm oh, oh, okay. Like, that's how out of it I be. Like, I really don't be pressed about what's going on. Like, I knew the holiday was coming up, but it hadn't dawned on me that, people were shopping for Thanksgiving. And so, anyway, I'm sitting in the bed. She tells me this, and I'm like, fuck, I'm going off. I'm like, all right, y'all. I said, hold on, y'all. Because part of me went into a space of disbelief, like, this shit ain't real. Let me call her girl. You feel me? So I was like, hold on, y'all. I'm going to call her girlfriend real quick. I'm going to holler her girlfriend. So I call her girlfriend. And I'm on the phone with her maybe a good 10 or 15 minutes, you feel what I'm saying? Just rapping with her. And she's telling me everything. And I'm just like, yo, like, what, bro? And I'm like, are you okay? You feel what I'm saying? Like, you was processing through all this. I know it's not easy. I know you can't be feeling great. I lost someone, right? I lost someone. I watched them go through the the sickness, the illness. You know what I'm saying? I watched her. I watched her go through it. I watched her fight. I watched her tenacity. I watched her optimism, her hopefulness, the moments we shared through the process of her going through what she was going through, and her still holding space for me in the midst of what she was going through. And you don't get real ones like that no more. Like people that are for people that are thoughtful. I don't know why I kept hearing careless, careless, careless. It's not carelessness. It's carelessness on the regard of themselves because they're holding space for others. And this this beautiful being of light, this woman, this creature, this this oh, this soul that I was able to be connected to for all this time, who has blessed me and graced me with her presence is now gone. And I was just like, bro, no, man. I'm like, all right, I gotta get off the phone. So I get off the phone with her, and my homegirl's still on the other line. I'm talking to her for another 10, 15 minutes. And I'm like, look, I gotta get off the phone. I have to go so I can process all this stuff that's like going on right now. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm going through all these emotions. I'm going through emotions just making this video. And I get off the phone and I'm sitting in the bed and the kids like, what? And I'm like telling them what's going on. And they like, nah, like what? So I'm like, man, I ain't cooking shit. I don't feel like getting up. I'm not getting on my bed today. I straight to them. I'm not getting on my bed the rest of the day. Don't bother me. Like, I don't mind y'all come here and chill me, whatever, but I'm not getting on my bed the rest of the day. I made up my mind. This is where I'm at. I'm like, my son came downstairs. He like, Ma, you good? I'm like, bro. Well, I went upstairs and hugged him first, and then I came back downstairs. But um, because I was in the bed, and then I wound up getting out of the bed and going upstairs as I was talking to her, and then I wound up getting on the phone, and I went and gave my son a hug because I cried. Like when I break down, the first thing I do is put on my son. He's been my A1 since day one, and I don't want to put so much pressure on him to make him feel as though he has to be responsible for me or I'll be responsible for him. Yet he allows me to have vulnerable moments. You know what I'm saying? He is that person that I can be like, hey, this is my weak point, my weak spot, my weak spot, a weak point in my life. I need you. You've been my rock, and so he's like, what? What's up? He hugged me. And I'm like, I said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to come to you with this. I said, I always come to you with this stuff, and I don't want to do that to you. And he's like, what, man? I'm telling him what happened. And he was like, I'm like, damn, are you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just mad. I was mad. Like, I was livid. And I'm like, I cried like a split tear. And I was just like on 1,000. I said, I'm just like, y'all know though, I'm not cooking 9 hours. I'm getting in my bed. I'm done for the day. So my son like, all right, bet. So I kind of sat in the bed. And he comes downstairs and he's like, you good? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I said that I just figured the day would be a movie day. I'm going to binge watch Pirates of the Caribbean. I already turned it on. I was sitting here chilling, processing what I was going to do, what I was going to start with. You know what I'm saying? As for the day, just how I wanted to spend the day with my kids. And then, like, I get the news and I'm like, it just recapitulated my whole day. Like, it just redirected everything. Everything just was like, and I'm like, okay. And so I wound up chilling in the bed and I'm watching, the movie, whatever the case may be. And I'm chilling. I watched all of them. And I'm hanging out with my daughter. And my daughter chilled with me and spent the rest of the day with me and everything. And so I'm having a good time. And I'm like, okay, I wouldn't say it was necessarily a good time. Yet I was processing, you feel what I'm saying? So I had made a couple more phone calls or wherever people had called me and I hit them back because I wasn't calling nobody after that. Like, what? And I don't call anybody anyway though, but let me hurry up because I'm already at 23 minutes and I don't want to be rambling. But I got on the phone, I talked to a good friend of mine and she was like, feel what you need to feel, deal with what you need to deal with, process how you need to process. If you need somebody to go with you, I'm there, I got you, you know what I'm saying? Like, just do what you feel is right. And like, if you feel like you need to leave, then leave. You feel like you need to move, then move. You feel like, you can do whatever you need to do at that point in time, in that moment to process how you need to process. So it was like, she gave me permission to do me. Like, like, and it was just like, it was weird because it was like, why do I need that reassurance to do me? And it was like, it was almost as if I was stuck in time. Like things had froze and she knew, like she understood. I know where you are right now. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? This is how you process. Like I got you. Like I'm a put in that I'm a fill in that gap for you right now because I know you having a disconnect. Like you about to spiral and I know you don't need to spiral. Like I need you to just sit with it. And I'm like, all right, bet. And so thank God for a friend like her because she does hold space in manners and ways in which she doesn't even realize. So to shout out to her for that. Anyway, I spent the rest of the day in my bed and, I went through thoughts and then I started going through my phone and I'm realizing like, bro, I don't even have no pictures on my phone. Like, what the fuck? Like all this time we spent together and all the shit we did and I don't have a picture of you in my phone. And I'm like, bro, That was like another whammy. Like, okay. I was like, but I'm not gonna pile onto that. I'm like, I have actual pictures of you. I have memories of you. Like, I don't need a picture on the phone. I have you in here. Like, I have you up here. Like, I got you inside. Like, bro, when I say this girl was my best, she still is. She's gonna always be my best friend. It's just like, bro, that shit was wild. And so I got up the next day and I'm like, all right, let me get my life right. You know what I'm saying? And I prolonged getting dressed. Like I promise you I did. I sat in the bed all the way up until 10:30, taking my daughter hair out and just sitting there like, I'm not getting up, I'm not getting up. And I'm like, yo, you gotta be there by 11 o'clock. You still gotta take a shower, you gotta brush your teeth, you know what I'm saying? You got But in my mind, I'm like, I'm right around the corner. You feel what I'm saying? I can walk to this location basically from where I live at. So I'm just like, okay. And so I promise you this is going to be. I I take my shower, I get dressed, I get in the car, and I go. And I walk in and I couldn't even walk to the front. You feel what I'm saying? I just walked in and I was like, all right, let me find a empty spot where I can sit and just be alone, be by myself. Yet I'm in the midst of the company of everybody else around me. And so it was like tunnel vision because it was almost like surreal and it was crazy. So I'm just like, okay. I walked in and I sat down and I'm looking around. I'm like, do I recognize anybody in here? And I'm just like, where's her family? You know what I'm saying? Where are the people that I know, the people that I remember that remember me? And so I'm sitting there and I'm processing and I'm just like, bro, and I broke down and I cried. And I wouldn't have felt right if I didn't get up and go and speak some words. And this is where I'm going to start to kind of wrap this lesson just a little bit because like I said, it's getting a little long and I don't want it to be too long. Um, but I got up and I said my words. And I'm never usually a person that's lost for words. And many people that know me know that. They tell me all the time, you always know what to say in the moment that you say it. And I got up there and I broke and I was just like, bro, I can't find the words. Like, let me get through these feelings so I can say what I gotta say. Like, I really want people to understand and feel and know who this person was to me. Like, and I just began to describe her. I began to talk about her traits and her characteristics, and I shared a bit of how I felt because I was like, I was mad. I'm like, why ain't nobody fucking tell me? Like, why ain't nobody call me? Why ain't nobody let me know? Like, I'm right around the corner. Y'all know where I live at. Like, why you ain't hit my phone? And like, we hit you up on the book. You didn't respond on the book. I'm like, bro, I don't be on the book. Like that ain't my stomping grounds. I don't be on social media. That ain't my shit. Like I don't care. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm just like, bro. So I get on the book, I see everything. I'm like, bro, like what? And so anyway, I go to the repays. I had a great time at the repays. You know what I'm saying? And then I transitioned. I took my homegirl home and went home. And when I got in the house, as I'm coming home, another dear friend of mine, an older woman, hits my phone. I'm telling her, like, I know I was supposed to be calling you. I'm sorry. I haven't been in touch. There's been a lot going on, and I don't be feeling like the drama, the crazy shit that be going on. I just be, needing to just things to just be chill. And so I'm like, no, I'm gonna call her back and, like, hit her up. Whole time, I'm not even processing. It's her birthday. And I had talked to her, and I had been talking to her because she had been calling me, and I'm like, bro, why am I ducking and dodging? Like, it's just so much going on. And so she like, what you doing today? And I'm like, I just left a funeral. Like, what do you mean what I'm doing today? Like, what kind of question is that? So the whole time I'm not processing that it's her birthday, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I come in the house. She's like, look, this is what I'm doing. I just would like for you to just swing past the house and we'll figure it out. And I'm like, all right, bet, say less. So I'm driving. I'm like, yo, do I really want to go to her house? Or do I want to go home? You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm gonna go home first because life be life. And so I get home. I talk to my daughter. I said, first and foremost, it's cold as blicky outside. My son say blicky. It's cold as blicky outside. And I ain't about to be outside like this all day. That's all the way did. So I said, let me go put on some warmer clothes. You feel me? So I changed my clothes. I get outside. I go back in the car and I drive down. She hits my phone because I'm taking forever. She's like, where you at? I'm like, I'm coming. I gotta make a couple stops first, but I'm coming. And she's like, all right. So I get there and I'm telling her everything, and she's just like, yo, that's wild. Yet at the same time, it's also her birthday, so I don't want to bring her down on her birthday, even though I'm holding space for other people and I'm going through it myself. It just, it was a lot. And we wind up going out for her birthday, and the time was had, and it was grown, mature, just good, enjoying yourself fun. You feel me? Like live band, we ate. There wasn't no dancing, nothing like that. But it was live band, good conversation, grown, older, mature people, like just a cool, chill vibe, and a lot of laughs because we were definitely laughing, like we was tripping about stuff. It was funny. Um, especially the older guy at the other table because he was tripping about the waiter because the waiter was mad cool. He had some hygiene issues, but he was mad freaking cool. So anyway, um, that brings me to the point of this whole overall message, right? And this is where I get heavy. Um, Rest in paradise, first and foremost, Alicia Denise Crawford. That was my girl. Um, what I learned in those moments, these moments throughout this course of the day, is that two things, a couple things actually. When a person pops in your mind and you are constantly thinking of them, or their name just happens to float across the the abyss of your mind, many times that is a signal from the universe to let you know to connect to them in some way, shape, form, or fashion, or to give you a warning, or to give you insight as to what is to come. So when you have thoughts, random thoughts that pop in, a lot of those thoughts are not random. Pay attention to them because many of those thoughts they stem from places. So you have to sometimes you need to follow the thoughts, especially if they're repetitive. Follow the dots to figure out or understand where they come from so that you can resolve them. Be not afraid to face the challenge and the trials and tribulations that face you, that come towards you on a regular everyday basis. Face your shit head on. And in the process of facing your shit on head on and feeling what needs to be felt and understanding and feeling your emotions in the moments that you are actually having them and experiencing them, it will allow you to bounce back faster on your feet. Meaning, be real. Accept what is really happening right there in that moment. Be present. My friend taught me to always be present. Both of them, Alicia and Jackie. They taught me to always be present, to always be positive, to always be ready to go, to always be ready to explore, to always be ready to take on whatever the day has to offer you. My daughter said to me when I walked into the house, Mommy, a funeral and a birthday in the same day, that's a lot of emotions. That's a lot to process and go through. Are you sure? Are you ready? I said, yeah. I said, I know it is, right? I said, it's an emotional roller coaster. I said, but I'm ready to ride it. And she said, Mommy, you're something else. I can't. I said, well, you know what? Life, and you got to life with it. You got to keep moving on. And so I say this in remnants of Alicia and Jackie and Angela, my beautiful mother, and Addie, my beautiful grandmother, and all the women and people that have come into my life to show me the beautiful attributes that I possess and the attributes that they have, blessed me with, and being able to come into connection with them, the lessons that they have given me, the light, the love, the positive energy, the permission to be myself because they were themselves, truly and authentically, all the way through and through to the bone, to the core themselves. They were themselves, and they did not allow anyone or anything or any situation or whatever circumstance to stop them and hinder them from being themselves and showing up for themselves and showing up for other people by just being themselves. And so I say all these things because it's imperative to be authentically you. Alicia taught me that. My mother taught me that. My grandmother taught me that. My grandmother said she always wanted to be her own person. In her audio recording of her giving an account of her life, she said that in her own words. Well, she started it in her own words. They said, Eddie, can you give us some history of the background of your life? And she said, well, as far as I can remember, and as long as I can remember, I always wanted to be my own person. And that's part of the reason why I get that whole idea of to thine own self be true. My grandmother always told my mother to be authentically herself, and my mom was authentically her all the time, whether she was messy or not. Girl, I'm trying to tell you that baby was always in something. But she knew. She always knew. You know what I'm saying? She was always on point like a pencil about people. You get what I'm saying? To this day, and she is dead and gone. It's still stuff coming to the forefront that this woman has said years ago that are still coming to be true in this very present moment. And so it's just like, yo, I play my tape back and I recognize and I realize, one, first and foremost, life is precious. Life is precious. So appreciate it. Appreciate it by being in it, by living it, by freely, authentically, genuinely expressing yourself to be you in every single moment. Show up for yourself. As I said to the gentleman at the table with my friend, and he came and sat with us. We had a nice little conversation because everybody at the table was celebrating birthdays. And so, we had a conversation, and then I was just telling him, like, you gotta appreciate every moment that you're in. I said every conversation, situation, and connection that you have with somebody is an opportunity to share. Not only are you sharing with them, but they're sharing with you. Are you going to show up? How are you going to show up for you? How are you going to be present in the moment? You know what I mean? How are you going to be intentional in the moment? Right? You gotta, all your power lies in the present. And I used to say this shit all the time, and I'm now processing fully, understanding what that really means. Right? While many of us, we live in the past, and we focus on the things that have transpired and went down towards us, and we hold grudges, and we be, mad and have attitudes and be angry or irritated, and people talk about us and treat us like shit because of the things that we said and done and didn't do, or what little scenarios lived in their head, or whatever the case may be. And we're treated and we're villainized as the villain in a story. And sometimes I gotta be the motherfucking villain, and that's okay. I will be that villain for you. If that's what you need so you can process, so you can grow, evolve, and change, and by all means, let me be that fucking person. I will play my fucking part. However, me playing my part is me being me, authentically me, true down to the core, to the bone of myself, because that's who I am. And that's who I always want to be. I always want to show up for me. Showing up for me and showing up how God divinely, truly created me to be is me recognizing and respecting the greatness and divinity that resides in me, and that resides in me because of who I was created to be, because of who God made me. How I show up for other people in the world is who God made me to be. I'm not an imposter. I'm not who you think I am or what I say I am. But if that's what you need for your story, for your journey, for your process, okay, I'll be there for you. I'll hold that space for you. However you deem fit. But that doesn't mean that that's who I am. Because in somebody's story, I am going to be the bitch. And maybe I was a bitch at that point in time. Maybe I was the asshole at that point in time. Because I've had my moments. And some people, everybody has that moments. Right? And so I say all this to say, like, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate yourself. Appreciate who you are, who God created you to be. Appreciate the people that God put in your life, the angels, the blessings, the lessons, the light that He gives you. You know what I'm saying? I gained so much permission and love in this day, processing. Well, yesterday, because it's the 29th now, but yesterday was 28th. But I gained so much just in that day. Excuse me. I gained so much in that day. I mean, I was up, down, angry, happy, sad. It was. You know what I'm saying? I wore so many hats yesterday. And wearing those hats, I wore those hats for authenticity. In my shoes. As me, showing up for me, and not just showing up for me, but showing up for everybody else by just being me. Sometimes you hold space for others just by being who you were created to be. And that is imperative, because if you don't show up for yourself as you should, you're going to live in a dream. You're going to be in an illusion. You're going to be able to be manipulated. You're going to be able to be messed with and played with and run through cycles. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing that shit no more. Unless that's what God say, hey, this I need you to do. Okay, that's different. But to voluntarily do that shit, just to do that shit, no, I'm not playing these games with people no more. I'm not playing these games with myself. And so, my dear friend, God bless her heart and mind, her soul. God rest her heart and mind, her soul. Jesus, yes, Lord, okay. She was authentic. I am authentic. I embody her. Because real recognize real and like attracts like. She was truthful. I'm truthful. She was bold. I'm bold to a degree. I had my moments because she was bro. Baby was ready to go all day. What's up? she she was protective. I am protective. I am protected. She was love. I am love. She was light. I am light. She is peace. Oh, I'm gonna miss my friend. I'm trying to tell y'all, yo. I'm gonna miss my friend. I'm gonna let it sit for a minute because sometimes it don't sit right away. But I say this, all these messages to say, God knows what you need before you need it, and so do you. God gives you a message. Spirit universe gives you a message. They place it in your mind, they place it in your heart. It's like your future self giving you an indication of what there is to know, what it is for you to come by, what it is for you to pay attention to. And it's all a matter of what you're choosing to pay attention to, where you're choosing to pull your energy. What are you focusing on? What are you reading? What are you writing? Right? What are you writing about? Like, how are you pouring out of yourself? What of yourself are you giving? How are you showing up for you? How are you showing up for others? What are you projecting out into this world? That was a lot. And I said I didn't want this video to be long, and it still wound up being long. But it's okay. I thank God for allowing me to be able to say what needed to be said. And I'm sorry for the beginning of the video for me ranting and just, because I had to go through what I had to go through to get this message out. So I say these things to say to recognize and know who you are. Recognize and know who God puts in your life. Recognize and know, how precious life is. And how, pertinent it is to live every minute to the fullest. How pertinent it is to show up for yourself and show up for others just by being yourself. How pertinent it is to just be true to you, to be divinely true to you in all facets of who you are, and not feel guilty or hurt or ashamed, ashamed, or defamed or defaced or whatever, depreciated or whatever the case may be. Don't feel those things. There's no point. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, sometimes it helps you to be able to express it and get it out your system, whatever the case may be. However, don't live in it. Don't stay stuck in it. You know what I'm saying? Feel what you need to feel and let go of whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hear a lot of intuitive readers say, take what you need and leave the rest. Or what do you say? Take the bones and leave the fish. You know what I'm saying? Take the wheat and leave the stuff that doesn't resonate. It's so many different things. And so it's just like, okay, I pray that this message is a light bulb for some or a light bulb for others. And I apologize for ranting in the beginning of the video because I was really going through some things. You feel me saying that? And I didn't know how I was going to feel about recording this joint, but I know I had to get it out of my system. You know what I'm saying? And so I leave all these gems, and I pray that this message reaches somebody and that it enlightens somebody and it helps somebody understand and know who you are and why you were created to be who you were created to be. And so, with that being said, I'm gonna go be free. As I always tell people, go be free. I'm gonna go be free for the evening. And with that being said, to thine own self, be true. Forever. Peace. Peace.